More than half of the world's people live in just 10 countries, the most populous countries on Earth. More people means more demand for everything, from natural resources to jobs. Hence, surging population growth can hinder development. Still, most of the world's most populous countries have managed to reduce their yearly population growth rates. Introducing 10 of the world's most populous countries. Number 5. Pakistan, 216,565,320. Pakistan's population is approximately 216.6 million. Its yearly population growth rate continued to rise up until 1982, reaching a peak of 3.41%. Afterwards, Pakistan's population growth rate finally began to decline. In 2020, the rate stood at 2%. Population experts credit religious taboos, political timidity, and ignorance as the reason Pakistan's population continues to grow at an alarming rate. In fact, the country's birth rate ranks among the highest outside of Africa. Number 4. Indonesia, 270,625,570. Indonesia's population is more than 270.6 million. Growth in Indonesia's population stood at an annual rate of 2.76% in 1967, but has declined since. The rate in 2020 was just 1.07%. Projections show that Indonesia's yearly population growth rate will only decline further, with an annual growth rate of just 0.32% predicted by 2050. Number 3. United States, 328,239,520. The United States has a total population of over 328 million. Yearly population growth in the US reached 1.76% in 1956, then declined to a low of 0.89% in 1970. The rate remained more or less unchanged during the 1970s and 80s. In the 1990s, however, the population growth rate surged to a high of 1.27%. This period was followed by a decline in the first half of the 2000s, a slight rebound in the second half of the decade, then another decline from 2009 onward. Number 2. India, 1,366,417,750. India is the second most populous country in the world, with over 1.36 billion people. In fact, it is estimated that by 2027, India could overtake China as the world's most populous country. India's annual population growth rate has been steadily declining since the early 1980s. The country's growth rate in 1982 was 2.35%, but in 2020, the rate was just 0.99% according to recent estimates. India's population may reach its peak in the early 2060s. Number 1. China, 1,397,715,000. China is the most populous country on Earth. Nearly 1.4 billion people call it home. The country has taken certain measures to combat overpopulation, including a so-called one-child policy, instituted in 1979, which made it illegal for families in the country to have more than one child. Now, however, Chinese citizens can have up to 2 children. Since the late 1980s, China's annual population growth rate has fallen significantly.